Hey guys, welcome to Analog, where we are 1 year old.
Yeah, and a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like 55 weeks
Yeah,
now?
something like that.
Yeah, because we realized our first ever episode was first week of April
Last year.
And now we're at the very end of April. So it's been a full year. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us, if you have. And if you haven't, fuck you.
They're not going to hear that because they left.
No, they'll hear.
Oh.
That one resonated.
Okay.
Trust me. I put a little something special on that one. Those motherfuckers will hear it.
I can't believe we've done a full year of episodes. That's pretty crazy.
I know, it is, right? Yeah, I was thinking about that. A lot of Smash podcasts burn out. And for a while, like, I know you don't want to call attention to our infrequent uploading schedule, but we really have been pretty fucking good about uploading.
Yeah.
Even while we're
I'm amazed we maintained a weekly full
for
video
so
upload
long.
for as long as we did.
Long. Yeah, actually.
That was ridiculous.
We were idiots.
We're
Anyways,
both
guys.
much busier now.
Yeah, we
and
are.
see how infeasible that is.
Yep. But
we're here.
We do, and we are here, and we have a good host of topics to talk about.
Yeah, and we've been planning all month to use this week as our week to record the full episode.
Yeah.
I guess everybody else got the memo too, because they waited till this week to do everything that was interesting.
Exactly.
Smash,
Yep. Like we were like, oh yeah, pound roundup, perfect. Yeah, we'll do
that's
that.
it.
And then PPMD came back.
And someone threw a crab at Hbox.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
Quite a bit happened.
Yeah. All right. So let's dive right into it with pound first, because it's what chronologically happened. First.
Yep.
All right.
So pound 2019. The second pound that I ever missed since I started competing, which was really sad, especially because the reason I didn't go is because I was going to be traveling, and then it got canceled 4 days in advance.
Yeah.
So then I could have gone.
I remember you telling me that.
So that sucked, but
I was really sad to miss it too, because I only ever went to pound 2016, but it was such a sick tournament with Aziz making his run with Llod Dandis proving that he's the most intelligent Melee player of all time.
I'll always remember the scene of Hacks walking off stage after getting third place and just walking down the middle of the ballroom.
Everyone just standing up and cheering in his black t-shirt.
That was one of the best moments of that tournament. And in Smash, it was really cool.
I used to, up until pretty recently, I still used to send one of the sets from that tournament on my commentary application stuff.
Which set?
Hacks versus SFAT.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because I remember very specifically, that was one of my first bigger assignments as a commentator, and Nick M. Whittier, who is notorious for thinking people who are not really top 100 level shouldn't be commentating the game. He said I'm still thinking about who I want to commentate, but if I were commentating, I would be saying all the shit Zane is saying right now about Aziz versus SFAT.
Nice.
And I was saying intelligent stuff about how they were using their dash dances and stuff. So
dang.
Yeah, I used to still send that. I did not. I applied for GOML commentary yesterday, where the application closes in 5 days.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. But I still considered putting that set on, and I didn't. So.
Pound always holds a special place in Smash's heart as one of the earliest consistent majors. It was the only way that I got exposure to big tournaments growing up, since I was really young to travel out of my region, but living in MDVA meant I could go to pound 2, 3, 4, 5, 2016, and Underground last year.
Well, and I think there's some really legendary runs in Pound's obviously. All of the tournaments you can say they've had some legendary runs, but Pound, I mean, Mango's...
Pound 3.
Yeah, Pound 3. But then also PPMD beating Armada. That's my favorite. It's my favorite, maybe one of my favorite sets of Melee ever.
Yeah.
When D1 screams bear. It's God. And that's also when the lights go out and the crowd starts singing Pokemon Stadium.
Yeah.
There's so many good things. Wife tries to start an Armada chant and the crowd doesn't do it.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite sets of Melee ever, because that was when I started watching Melee. It was around that time, and I was like, damn, this guy is the best player in the world. But we'll talk about him later.
Yeah, and honestly, in the months leading up to Pound, I kept seeing the marketing campaign for it basically was talking about how historic Pound was.
Yeah.
And I'm that's true, but 2019 is so different from what Melee was like at the last pound, and even pound 2016 like felt like a different era from pounds 1 through 5. You know, I mean,
oh, totally. Yeah.
But I have to say, I was extremely impressed, not only because everybody showed up and the tournament was sick to watch in terms of gameplay, but like VG Bootcamp actually did a sick job just producing the tournament. You don't think so?
Mostly.
What do you think they didn't?
Well, Melee was an hour and a half late and didn't have audio for the first 30 minutes
well,
it broadcasted
that
on
part
Sunday.
was pretty sus. But the rest of it, I liked.
Yeah, no, I agree. I've loved seeing Gimmer and Apostle come into their own as content creators, in terms of like making skits and shit too.
Yeah. I think it was their brother who was in charge of all the content.
Yeah,
the third Lofton brother.
The third Lofton brother.
There might even be a fourth.
He's like the third Hemsworth.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you often see him if you go to tournaments. He's usually one of the guys like manning the cameras.
Shoutouts to Gimmer. I've had a script I've supposed to have had for him for about 6 months now that I still haven't finished. But someday I'll finish that, and you guys will see me release a sick video on VGBC. But yeah, I mean, and yeah, people showed up, and even with Leffen dropping out, I mean, holy fuck, dude, what a top 8.
Yeah.
What a tournament in general.
So let's do a recap of how the tournament turned out.
Sure.
So let's start with that.
Sure.
Yet again, Hungrybox wins a tournament.
Yep.
This time from losers.
Yep.
Which we'll get into.
Yep.
A very rare occurrence for Hbox to win a tournament through losers. I actually can't remember the last time.
True.
Mango second. Third place was Plup. Fourth place was Zane. Tied for fifth place was S2J and SFAT. Tied for seventh place, Axe, and surprise guest
Chudat, which
blast from the
surprise
past.
guest in quotes, please. Yeah. And it was a cool top 8. There were, for once, we had some. One of the side effects of the top level of players dropping off recently, like the gods in the top 6 not going to as much, is that losers quarters have been a snooze fest at pretty much every fucking tournament recently.
It's a blowout.
Because you usually get Zach or Johnny or Axe against like
someone worse.
Someone who made a super sick run to get 7th.
Yeah.
You know, but isn't on that same level. But Johnny fucked Chudat, but that's fine. But
he had some moments. But I feel like their sets are always like that. Like, Chudat has some moments.
But we actually had competitive like losers quarters. Pretty much every match. Most of the matches were competitive, and the ones that weren't were between players who were at the same level. So since it wasn't competitive, it was really surprising. Like Plup Zane was competitive actually. It went pretty close every game, but it being a 3-0 was still sick because it was like, damn, Plup is so fucking good. Mango blowing out Plup, same thing, you know?
Plup also, I know how much he hates Sheik versus Marth on FD. And I know he's like considered playing other characters for that stage. He has played other characters on that stage in the past. But for him to take it twice over Zane.
Yeah, it was really, and Zane was making some comebacks too.
Yeah. My favorite part of that set though was the ending with where
power shield.
Yeah, Zane comes down with a forward air and Plup power shields
it's a nair.
Was it a nair?
It's a nair. He power shields the first hit, then jabs before the second hit comes out.
Right, he power shield, jabs, F tilt, and then kills with an up air. And like you can see Zane's face, like he can't help but react in such a way that like in his head, you know, he's thinking like, okay, that was sick.
Well, the nair is part of what makes it so sick because there are certain aerial timings Marth can do where you could guess like, oh, I can throw out a jab after just regular shielding and it could potentially hit and I can get a conversion off of it. But the fact that it was a nair, you never drop shield in between the hits of the nair unless you know you had the power shield. So it shows that Plup really knew what he was fucking going for.
Or maybe he was used to ult timings and he was trying to parry the last hit.
Well, maybe. Yeah, so that was sick. But damn, dude. Mango. Oh boy. Mango played so fucking good.
Yep.
Until he didn't. Yeah.
But a return to form in a lot of ways. He brought the Fox back out. Dude, like, we see all of his melee play. Like, there's no behind the scenes with Mango. If he's playing melee, it's on his stream.
Right.
When has he been playing Fox?
He plays Fox.
When? I feel like I never see his Fox on his stream.
What? What are you fucking talking about?
Like, he's playing Falco or secondaries.
Recently, that's been more true, but I mean, like, if Joey comes over, he plays Fox against Joey.
I must just not be watching those.
Yeah,
streams.
he goes Fox against Joey's Marth too, because Joey.
He's trying to be a Marth main now. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, no, Mango's been playing Fox.
Okay.
I think that we just internally dismiss it because he always starts with Falco and then goes Fox, or like, oh, it's a secondary. If you ever see it, it's because it's against someone else's secondary.
The last few times he's gone Fox against Hbox, right?
That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
So I kind of was expecting to see the Fox, but to see it play as well as it did was a nice treat.
Were you expecting it against Plup, though?
No, and he did both against Plup.
Yeah, he
which
did.
was also nice.
Yeah.
I think against Plup, he is going to play whoever he feels like, / it could just be to warm up for Hbox too. Like,
that's part of it.
I don't know. It could go either way, I think.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was super... It was intriguing to me that he chose Falco on FD.
Yeah, usually that's really strong for Fox against Sheik.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, like, obviously that's the go-to counter pick, at least it used to be for both characters, but I feel like it's a stronger pick for Fox.
Yeah, I agree.
Because...
Strong for both, but stronger for Fox.
The
punish game on that stage, man.
Well, I think the punish game is really strong for Falco, too.
Yeah,
on that stage.
It is for both, but for Fox, it's so much harder.
I think the bigger thing for me with it is that Fox's neutral gets to also be his strongest defensive option on that stage, right? He gets to run around and ASDI down the entire time,
yeah,
which is like perfect against Sheik, and Sheik doesn't have any platforms to deal with that.
Yeah,
Falco's neutral on that stage is like it's really oppressive if you shoot lasers, but because you're jumping, you're constantly risking that Plup dash attacks into you, right? And he manages to clip you, or like jumps over a laser and fares. That's a thing that Sheiks like to do on that stage. So Falco doesn't get to potentially play his like actually strongest defensive option while playing his most oppressive neutral. Whereas with Fox, they're basically synonymous in a lot of ways.
Yeah, though I guess Mango's not so much of a down holder.
That's true. But he is a running shiner. He's like a super good running shiner.
Sure.
So he ends up doing that a lot, you know? Yeah,
it was an interesting pick.
I mean, it worked out.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to question him.
Yeah. So Mango made a tweet after that. It was just like, damn, I played the best I have in so long, but sad that I played my worst against Hungry Boxing Grants. Do you feel like that was true?
I think his later tweet where he said, like, what's the past tense of foregone? He forewent. Is that a word?
Yeah, forewent.
Okay. That's what I wanted to say, but I didn't know if that was a word.
Yeah.
He forewent his game plans.
Right. That's how it felt to me.
Hbox. Like, it kind of felt like he just wanted to go in and hit him, whereas in Winners, it felt like there was intention behind everything he was doing. Like,
most things.
Yeah, most things. I definitely felt like his own assessment of his play was pretty accurate. It wasn't like he was missing stuff. It's just like he was less disciplined.
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. I also think Hbox leveled up in between the two sets.
Hbox actually played like pretty sick the whole tournament.
Yeah,
or at least once he got put in losers. Like,
I saw some tweets that were, I think, very happy that Mango was playing so sick, talking about, damn, and Hbox, they're both playing so. I don't think Hbox played
not
that good
in Winners.
I think
they flipped.
Hopeful.
Yeah.
I think that's wishful thinking that Mango was like beating Hbox at his best.
Yeah.
And I don't really think it was true.
Oh boy, dude, I really want to see 3 sets between them where they're both playing as sick as their peaks were at this tournament.
Can we talk about how Hbox has been SDing like an insane amount recently?
Like more than his normal like lack of ability to DI things.
Yeah, no, but he's like SDing.
Yeah, he did.
Like he SD'd like 3 times in top 8.
I think he's trying new stuff and he's not used to it.
He is. You're right.
But like it's honestly cool to watch.
Isn't that scary?
If you can like move past the part in your head that hates Puff, and I have to do this every time I watch. Like the stuff he's doing is actually pretty cool. So, I keep thinking about his run off stage and then pound the other way to make it so that Fox couldn't tech. Like that was so sick.
Yeah.
And like the way his neutral evolves versus Zane, where it's like he's playing really evasively and all of a sudden he does like a slight overshoot dash attack and it clips Zane. And the Sing edge guards that he started pulling out this year.
So I wanted to ask you about that. The Sing edge guards, we saw him do that to PPU at Genesis. Yep. And by the end of the set, Kevin was spot dodging them. Is that just because Hbox was fucking up the timing?
Honestly, I haven't lapped it.
Right?
Zane has been streaming with Abi this week, playing Prince Abu, and he keeps getting caught by Abi's Sing edge guards, and I keep telling him to SDI the Sing. But I haven't actually put any thought into that particular edge guard.
Because Kevin got a spot dodge on it.
He did.
And
I feel like
it might have just been Hbox was.
It must be, yeah. It's hard to say because it's such a new element to the edge guard that sometimes those new things can get dismissed really quickly, and sometimes it's just like the person doing it needs to clean up what they're doing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I don't have an answer.
Speaking of Hbox versus Zane, holy fuck, what a set! That was like the funny thing about that set is everyone talked about that set as if it was a Game 5 set, even though it was 3-1.
Yeah. I couldn't remember the score in my head.
It was just because Zane was so close in all of them.
Yeah.
But it was a fucking sick set.
What stage did Zane win on? Yoshi's? I could have sworn they played twice on Yoshi's.
Zane won game 1, didn't he?
Oh, did he? He must have. If
Zane
Hbox won twice on...
Zane won game 1.
Yeah, because they only played that one set.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Zane won game 1. It was a cool set. That matchup is very interesting now that Hbox knows how to DI throws. But it was a cool example of Zane adapting to that. He did a lot of the wave dash stuff we were talking about. He mixed in down throw a bunch. Hbox still doesn't know how to DI, or I shouldn't say that. Hbox has still been letting Zane rack up a lot of percent on him at low percents with the throw mix-ups.
It's really hard not to.
Well,
right?
It would be...
It's like 50-50.
It is a 50-50, except Zane does the same pattern every single time.
Yeah, okay.
So that's why he down throws like every single time.
Yeah.
He does forward throw, down, like, and then just down throws a bunch.
Yeah. There's like
but it is hard. It's a true 50-50.
Yeah, it's hard. He's like more creative than he needs to be because once you catch the DI once, I think he usually goes for like if they DI in and he can't get the grab, then he'll go for like forward air or something off the down throw. Off like a certain DI, you just react, you get 2 nairs into like tipper forward or tipper up air. And it's like a free 50% off a grab at 0 every time.
I mean, I may be ragging on Hbox too much because it's a 50-50, but let's do the math. If it's a true 50-50, you shouldn't, it should be very rare that you're losing the 50-50 three times in a row.
That just means Zane is in his head every time.
Yeah, I think it does.
Yeah.
I think that's what I think Hbox hasn't quite started playing the mix-up yet. Which is hard because you have to get used to the rhythm, too, of when the thing's going to happen.
So you could think of it as a 50-50 for either forward throw or down throw, or left and right. So it could also depend on which side he's grabbing it from.
Yes, that's true.
So if he's doing the down throw every time, that could be sometimes down throw towards the ledge, sometimes down throw towards center.
Yeah.
Just depends on where he grabs him.
Yeah. But it was a cool set. They both played good, I think.
Yeah.
And we didn't have another heartbreaking moment.
Yeah. So
the rest that Hbox got at the end was oh damn, he got that.
Right.
But it wasn't the shit that happened at Summit. Was that where it happened?
It was Summit.
Oh god, yeah.
So Zane said he asked Hbox after the Summit set if the jab he did was on purpose because
he
got a jab and then he backed through.
Hbox said yes, and you don't believe him, right?
I believe him now. Yeah, because I've seen him now he stops people's momentum with jab multiple times and he gets the grab. I think I saw him do it to Mango.
But do you think he knew he was gonna get a reverse jab? Because that jab was weird because Zane was on the other side of him.
I honestly don't remember the exact situation.
It's whack.
But regardless, I think I believe it. As much as I hate to say it.
Okay.
Sorry, Zane.
Yeah. Other prizes of this bracket were fun. Hbox beats Plup, and it was...
I'm sure there were some big... Cool Line got, 9th?
Yeah, Cool Lime got 9th. There was some really
crazy.
big. Joyboy got 17th, right?
Joyboy's sick. What have we been saying?
I know we have, but like I'm happy he.
Yeah,
showed
yeah,
it.
definitely. There were 2 pools. Let me pull up the second one.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
M and N. Swedish lost. Oh, we should talk about Swedish Chew. You saw that set, right?
Oh, I saw some of it with the Choose Fox.
Where they double blind for game 1, and Chew goes Fox. Swedish obviously goes Peach.
No, game. Oh, was game 1
Yes,
Fox?
game 1 was Fox
I didn't
Peach.
see game 1
because they double blind for the first game. So the first game, it's like whoever wins is probably going to win the set.
Right.
Because then, so Chew wins game 1 with his Fox. Swedish picks stage, and Chew gets to decide, okay, do I want to stay Fox and lose to Sheik, or do I want to stay Ices and probably lose to Peach?
And he went Ices for the probably.
Makes sense, right? Like you have a better shot of beating his secondary Peach with your main.
So Swedish beats him with Peach.
Yeah,
and then they go back to Peach Fox for game 3.
And he wins with Fox again on Stadium this time.
And then they end up going Sheik Ices for game 4.
No,
right?
then they go Peach Ices.
Oh, again?
He has to stay Peach. Swedish has to stay Peach because Chew gets to decide whether or not he stays Peach. Chew gets to say, I'm going Ices, and he stays Peach.
Yeah.
So then Chew wins Ices Peach
so
game
funny.
4.
So funny.
Choose Fox, man. It's like, it's the most basic Fox because he just lasers and then he goes for like up throw up air
or up
and
smash.
Swedish is not a Peach main, so he doesn't DI up throw ever, so he gets hit by up throw up air, which shouldn't work. It doesn't work against Peach, guys. If you DI left or right, it straight up doesn't work. But he got hit by it multiple times, and then he goes for jab up smash if that doesn't work.
Yep. Yeah, that happened.
That's how that went.
So Chudat's road to his placing was very interesting.
Oh yeah, because it was he lost into bracket.
Yeah, he beat Kaon. Which did you see that set?
Oh, did I?
Oh, it was.
I think I was
exactly
listening to
what you expect. It was so exactly what you expect.
2-0 Gatsu is pretty good.
That was a big thing. He fucking destroyed Gatsu.
Did he really?
He fucking destroyed Gatsu. Yeah, Chu looked good. This is a bracket where, I totally, of course, Chu would make this run, right?
Yeah.
It's so funny. Who did Kaon beat to get there?
Leffen's DQ.
Yeah, that's what happened, right?
And Bones, that's good.
Yeah.
3-2-1.
Yeah.
But still, that was the Leffen bracket.
Yeah.
Which Chu was the benefactor. Does that mean we missed out on Leffen Zain? Man.
Yeah, we
sucks.
did. PPU, IBDW, also an amazing set.
Yeah.
Both of IBDW's sets that he lost were really fucking good, but he lost.
In classic IBDW fashion, he's a good player.
Yeah.
PPU losing to Toussaint.
Yeah, that was interesting, because did you see Kevin's tweet beforehand?
Yeah, he was like ready to go.
He said, I'm really excited to play Toussaint because I've completely reworked my Marth matchup.
That's the thing,
Or
though.
my Jigglypuff matchup.
Sometimes the first set you go in after reworking something is hard.
Yeah.
Toussaint's also a very, very different puff from Michael. So if he's studying his loss to Michael at Full Bloom, he's coming in against a very different beast.
Yeah, and it did look like Kevin was just getting opened up a lot. And then he wasn't, Toussaint converted into rest off some nasty stuff.
Yeah. So looking like a bit of a gap in PPU's lineup right now is the Puff matchup. But the Marth Guild is reunited.
It's been a gap for a really long time.
Yeah.
It's just that one win that he has on Hbox, but he loses to Puff not infrequently.
He beat Michael last year at Smash and Splash, and other than that, I don't think he was.
That was
he
last year, Michael. That's different.
Still, he's not been getting upset by any other Puffs, right? And he's played these guys.
Yeah. Wasn't there something else? I don't know.
I think the Puffs have gotten better. I think both Toussaint and Michael have gotten better.
Yeah.
And I think us Marths needs to stay on our toes. Like I said, the Marth Guild is reunited. We're going to talk at some point, or at least I'm going to try and make them talk because sometimes they don't respond. But I played Michael on netplay a couple times in the last week. We played a best of 3 earlier this week. Can you guess how long it was?
20 minutes.
It was 20 minutes and 2 seconds.
Damn, I'm so sick. Oh, you know what was also really sad from this weekend that I called really early on in bracket? Ginger losing to Swedish for the fucking 5th
Oh, you
national
did say
in a
that,
row.
yeah.
Yeah. At least it wasn't game 5 this time because Ginger got 3-0'd.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Jerry's back. Jerry's Fox is back.
Yep.
Defeating both Lucky and KJH in the Fox Dittos before losing to Slox. A very interesting, bracket.
Really weird bracket in general, right? Because you think Joey's supposed to be really good at that.
And this was round 1 of losers.
He did it in the wrong order.
Yeah, he did this in the wrong order.
Yeah, he beat Lucky super early and then beat KJH and then lost to Slox.
For top 12 qualifier.
Yeah, which is really, really funny.
Slox looking good though. I mean, he made his set against, not S2J, against Axe look really respectable.
Yeah, oh my god, dude, game 5.
Yeah, which was not super surprising. It was surprising to me that he got to game 5, but Slox is one of those foxes that I just expect to be good at those weird matchups.
So do I, yeah.
And I can't tell why.
Me neither.
But I just kind of expected it.
And then there was also another potential upset. Who did Mango almost lose to? Mango went game 5 with someone.
Kalindi.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think there was anyone else, was there?
No, it was Kalindi.
Yeah,
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Oh, tragic from Kalindi. He dropped a free edge guard on the last stock.
Yep.
Or second to last stock.
Yep.
But when your adrenaline's pumping like that in that matchup, that's sometimes it happens.
But yeah, that's basically what happened in bracket. Shoutouts to Joyboy for getting a really good placement. I think he did end up getting 17th. I think as well.
He beat Swooper, Kevin Maple. He lost to Swedish.
Game 5 to Swedish. Yeah.
So Swedish got his revenge after losing to Joyboy at Genesis.
Yep, exactly. Bobby Big Balls also got 17th.
Yeah, beating Dreffin and Boyd. That's pretty good. He 3-0'd Boyd. And 3-0 Dreffin. Lost to Slox.
Yeah, but Jerry and Slox, I think, probably the real
surprise foxes, surprise spacies. Llod.
Yeah, I was about to say
super underperformed at this tournament.
He lost to La Luna.
Yeah.
And HT.
And HT.
Yeah, that's a yikes, dude.
I know.
I actually losing to HT is like whatever. Like, it's not great, but HT's
Yeah, so
La Luna has not beaten a Peach in like 3 years.
So everyone was talking about like how big of an upset in chat. Like I was in chat while Llod was playing La Luna. They're like, it'd be such a huge upset if La Luna beats him. La Luna beat Llod at Big House this past year.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, everyone seems to have forgotten.
I totally forgot that. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I can tell you my, as unbiased as I can be, opinion on why Llod is playing the way he was playing.
Sure.
All his practice comes from laggy Wi-Fi and netplay.
Yeah. And
the way his neutral looks right now is just god awful. And, and honestly, I think his neutral in general is not... like, he and I disagree on a lot about Smash. Like, if you guys ever are in the same room as me and him talking about Smash, like, we argue for hours on end.
Whoa. Okay, yeah.
Okay. But basically, like, when he's playing well, it's because when he's entering tournaments on a regular basis, it sharpens those aspects of his gameplay.
Sure.
But now when he plays both in ult and in melee, he goes for hard reads in neutral all the time.
Gotcha. Okay, but why... Sorry, I know this is so off topic. Why did he lose to La Luna at Big House last year?
Same thing.
Okay.
He's been in med school since June.
True.
So he's been entering hardly any tournaments.
Big House wasn't actually that long ago. I just forgot it happened.
No, yeah, that all this has been in the same span of time. Like, he's just playing online. And
that's
like,
so funny. Because...
Yeah.
Because he's so good at that matchup in La Luna, it loses to every Peach.
Yeah, but again, like, Llod in a lot of ways is like a reverse Peach, where like he beats people doing things that Peach is bad at, and he doesn't use Peach's strengths. Like, if he's using Peach's strengths in the Marth matchup, then he's playing a lot more patiently. He's floating around, and like that's gonna make La Luna struggle. Instead, Llod is trying to play grounded footsies with La Luna, and he still wins like maybe half the time, but Marth is obviously going to come out on top in a lot of those situations. So that it wasn't super surprising to me that he lost to La Luna, just knowing both of their styles.
Interesting.
But if Llod had beaten HT, and I knew that was a risk given how I felt like he was playing, he would have had a Puff into Kaon, into Cool Lime, or to Saint.
Yeah, Amida had a tiny little bit of a breakout. Y'all don't know.
Into SFET. Like, that would have been a sick bracket for him.
Y'all don't know Amida. Amida is very campy.
All I know about Amida is what HT's screenshot, or the screenshots of HT on Discords was saying.
Right, the most reputable source of information.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, too bad for Llod. It was an interesting tournament. Weird tournament.
Very weird tournament.
Very sectioned out into different skill levels of players. Like you got Mango, Plup, Zane, Hbox, and then you had Johnny, Axe, SFAT. Basically just that, and then Chu sneaks in there and then you have Chu, Swedish, Slox, Gatsu, Cool Lime, Jerry.
Cool Lime, man.
Yeah. So it was very sectioned out in weird ways. I don't know. It was interesting.
Real quick, can we talk about how Cool Lime is the absolute master of tilting his opponents?
What do you mean? Oh, he tilted Toussaint off the earth, right?
Yeah. I tuned in, and it was, it was game 4, and I see Toussaint playing Fox. Did you see the set?
I heard about it.
He was playing Fox.
Yeah.
In his chair, just looking like totally over it. At one point, he literally takes one hand off the controller and just starts hitting the C-stick with Fox. And he kills Nana doing that. And then he kills Nana, he puts both his hands back on the controller, but he ends up losing. Like, he was so over it. And Kaon switched to Peach. And lost. He got both of them to switch off their mains. And one of them plays Pup and the other one plays Fox.
The other one's Kaon, more importantly.
Kaon.
Like, that's
who
really
historically,
funny.
Yeah. Beats Icy. So.
Yeah. I mean, Kaon had lost to Chudat, so maybe, I don't know. Anyways, I feel like that's all there really is to say about bracket. Yeah. Other than M2k was right about he should have been seeded first, I guess, in doubles.
No. Come on.
I said that just to annoy you.
No.
No, obviously PFAT was the first seed, but it is cool to see that Plup 2 King is still.
They're really good.
Yeah.
They're the way that they both dysfunctionally function in teams happens to work nicely with the other.
Yeah, especially with no practice.
Yeah.
Like they really actually have both not been practicing.
It doesn't matter, man. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What bothered me is that people are like, yeah, now Plup and M2k King should get the 1 seed at the next tournament. I'm like, that's not how it works. Like, I don't know, man. Anyways.
I would give him the 1 seed at the next tournament.
Would you?
Yeah.
What if me and Chillin entered?
Oh, well, that team is chilling with it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I'd give you guys like 3rd seed.
Oh. Dang.
No, I would give them to. Why wouldn't you give them the 1st seed? Because they've been gone too long?
No, because I don't think the claim on the 1 seed for PewFat has decayed yet.
But Plup 2 King didn't enter most of the tournaments that PewFat won this year.
Yeah, they didn't. This is the only tournament they entered. So it's it's basically like level of confidence in the seed that you give a player. Like, I don't think the level of confidence in Plup 2 King is as high as it is for PewFat right now. Like, I would give them maybe the 2 seed.
I would say that if we were, I know ELO and that sort of shit is all bad for Smash, but if we were to think about a ranking of Plup 2 King, we would have probably had them at 2nd or we would have probably had them.
If you rank them with recent results, they'd be below PewFat.
Right, but if you ranked them before PewFat went on their run, they would be above, wouldn't they? They were outperforming PewFat before PewFat went on their run. They just never go to tournaments. My point is, they don't have tournament results like. I don't know. I'm probably speaking.
It's all from 1+ year ago, right?
Yeah, that's the thing.
So like the next tournament, PewFat should still have the 1 seed, I think.
Maybe.
And honestly, between the 1 and 2 seed, it doesn't matter that much.
I need to go back and look at if Plup 2 King were outperforming PewFat before they stopped playing together, even if it was a year ago. But if they were outperforming PewFat back then, which I don't know, so I should stop speaking out of my ass. But if they were, then I would be fine with putting them as 1 seed now.
Okay, so then let me ask you this.
Yeah.
How do you seed PPMD at the next major?
What, the next major, you seed him at like...
Okay, yeah, I see. Let's say PPMD won Pound 2019, then how do you see? I was trying to transition.
I understand, but I'm well, we'll talk about that. Yeah. We'll talk about that after our break, which we're gonna take right now. Bye, guys. Hey guys, it's Zane. What's up? What to say? I know we have not been consistent even with C-Sticks, and I'm sorry for that, but at this point, that's just sort of the way it is. Rishi and I are really hardworking professionals, and I don't mean to say this in a way as if you guys don't understand it, because what makes us so lucky is that we have the best fans in the world who mostly put up with our really inconsistent upload schedule and just rag on us for it in a fun, jokey way, which I appreciate. I remember I saw a YouTube comment making fun of the fact that our description still says weekly. I still need to change that into upload defaults. But yeah, thanks for that. C-Sticks are still a thing because if we do have time, Rishi legit was just out of town for the past 3 weeks, most weekdays. If we do have time, it's a way for us to give you stuff more consistently. I don't know that's going to be an every week thing or an every other week thing, because life's hard, man. That's basically it. And we really like sitting down and talking, but sometimes it's just like you got to make dinner or lunch for the next day. So you guys understand. Something else I want to apologize for is, I say this later in the episode, but it wouldn't be an analog episode without audio issues. This one may be the funniest audio issue we've ever had, which is just my thigh pressed the pause button on my recorder while we were recording a ways in. So there's about 9 minutes or so of audio that is recorded through the internal camera audio. Oof, it is not great. I did my best to clean it up. It shouldn't be ear-rending or anything. It's just, not specifically the audio quality that I would like. And I got to fiddle with audio quality just for the lavs and stuff too, because I've been messing around with some different settings, and I think I sometimes kill a bit too much of the dynamic range with my compression. This is all boring stuff, but for those people who like to backseat audio correct me, I welcome it. Please tell me how to fix my audio better. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy the episode. I think we had some really focused topics of discussion. Fell a little bit into bracket review, which, as you guys know, isn't always my favorite thing to just get stuck in, but I think we kept it interesting. And don't worry, we did not forget about the crab. You guys will hear us talk about the crab. Yeah. Tell us what you like. Rate, comment, subscribe. Actually, give us a review on iTunes if you have time to, on podcasts. I don't say that a lot, but it is helpful, legitimately. It's not like that's where most of our traffic comes from, but it's very nice if you give us a 5-star review or just a 4-star review. Maybe there's some stuff we need to work on, and you can upgrade your review later after we fulfill those promises to you. That's the sort of people we are, always looking to improve. Sort of. I haven't gotten better at Melee in a year. All right. I hope you guys enjoy the episode. Yeah. Bye. Love you. Welcome back to Analog, where we're not going to be talking about PPMD, actually, because we didn't talk about the most important thing that happened this weekend at Pound.
Someone threw a crab at esports guy.
Esports guy. At least he hasn't said a gamer word yet.
Yeah, true.
Although, okay. Anyways, we have to talk about the crab a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, someone threw a crab at Hbox after he won the tournament.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think, given the fact that happened, it turned out as well as it could have.
So here's my question for you. This is what I'm thinking about. Everyone was really sad about the crab after it happened, and it just led to a lot of bad discussions in general too. Worthwhile discussions of people, but bad feeling discussions of people saying,
kind of a damper over things.
Yeah, people being like, why are top players so up in arms about this, but not about sexual assault cases in the community, which is a very valid point. Ban sexual predators from your tournaments and don't let them come back. My voice cracked. Don't let them come back. That should go as a matter of saying, and I hope that we have made it clear that that is our position.
Yep.
In addition,
if you forgot, there you go.
In addition, I don't think that you should throw crabs at people at tournaments.
Yeah. Or anything.
Yeah. So, but my question is, if PPMD hadn't streamed immediately after, would we still be really sad right now about Melee in general? Because people were not feeling it.
Right.
But then PPMD streamed.
I think we'd be fine because, like, I agree that we all should have, like, my gut reaction was also very negative after the crab thing happened, because it's just like, for anyone who's like put time into competing, like, you know how awful that is for someone to just do something like that for something you've worked so hard for. And like Hbox already knows that the crowd is kind of disappointed when he wins. Yeah. So like that's just kind of icing on the cake.
Yeah.
On the really bad tasting cake for him.
Yeah.
But I think the next day, like, everyone was kind of milking it already.
Yeah,
especially him.
Yeah, he seemed like he was sort of over it, actually. Yeah. I actually think the way Hbox handled it was pretty fine. I want to start making more of a resolution to, like, stop equivocating my feelings on this podcast, which I do sometimes. And so I'll just say that I don't personally like Hbox very much, and I think that he has a lot of things that I personally don't find very appealing. But I don't think the crab should have been thrown at him. And I think that pointing out that it was shitty and then making light of it was, instead of like railing on it as like a really shitty thing, was probably the best thing that he could have done. So
yeah, and I think people like rightly rallied behind him to kind of like uniformly say like this is not okay.
Yeah, and it wasn't. And I think that his reaction of being angry was
totally justified. And people like, this obviously happens anytime something blows up. Like, there's a lot of people who just don't get it. And people are like, what's the big deal? Like, it's not like anybody was hurt. Like, it's just a crab. It's like, it's not just the fact that someone threw a crab.
That's the thing is, I think the more widespread response was like, oh, fuck, we're fucked. And that's the widespread response we got from people slightly adjacent to our scene or outside of our scene, too.
People take any reason that they can possibly use to try and take down the Melee scene. Like, that's just kind of how it is. Like, you see something that one person did, and you apply it to the rest of the community.
I think sometimes that's true, but I also think in this case, people were... I just think it was a pretty reasonable reaction to see from an outside. People don't have context. Listen, okay, people chastising our scene, I don't like. I didn't like those responses. But people saying, wow, the Melee scene doesn't seem like it's in a good place right now, I think that was very reasonable. And I did see some of that from some people. As opposed to like, Melee scene, you should be embarrassed of yourself.
Right.
That was whack. But if you're from an outside perspective, what you see is a community that has been yelling a lot about like a fundamental, one of the basic rules of our game with wobbling and not being able to decide it.
That's what I was going to say.
And like very angry that our best player in the world is winning everything, and then get to this. I would say, it looks like that competitive games community has some hashing out. Like, it seems like not everyone's very happy there.
Right.
Which I would say is pretty accurate with Melee's scene right now.
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways that's true.
I think there are a lot of people who are not happy about the scene. Some for more valid reasons than others.
Yeah.
Again, ban sexual assaulters from your community. That's a pretty big, important reason that we should be unhappy. Yeah, but I don't know. I was mad about the crab. Slime and I had a weird like discussion about this.
A weird like discussion?
Yeah, a weird like discussion.
Okay.
Because Slime tweeted, haha, fun, like, haha, the crab got thrown. Ronald Reagan systematically ignored the AIDS crisis. Which is a bit that he does a lot with Ronald Reagan and AIDS. But I replied to it, I was like, I think this is whack. Like, people can care about multiple things. And then he said, you're projecting. This is a bit I run all the time. It's not about like condemning. It's about contrasting. And so then I DM'd him and I was like, hey, I don't want to like get into this on Twitter. I just want to like understand where you're coming from. And he called me a pussy for not getting into it on Twitter.
Oh, wow.
As a joke. But then we talked about it, and what I realized with this was that Slime was not trying to do what a lot of other people were, which is don't talk about this thing because we have other bigger things we could be talking about. He was just making a joke. And then we talked a lot about the humor of the joke and why I think it didn't quite land as a joke.
Okay.
In a lot of ways. Like, the ha-ha was bad. If the
Right.
ha-ha weren't there, it would work better as a joke.
Yeah.
We talked like we talked like very
No, I'm with you on that.
in depth about it.
It makes a difference.
Yeah, because
Was it a capitalized haha? Or?
No, it was lowercase.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, because the ha-ha makes it seem like you're actually dismissing the crab thing. So the way that I talked about it to him too is the parallelism of it doesn't work, because the nominal punchline of it is small thing on a cosmic level.
Yeah.
Pretty big thing on a level of like millions of many people dying because of the AIDS crisis, right?
Yeah.
But if you make one of them not a bad thing, then the scaling doesn't actually work, because you have to twist it in between too. It doesn't scale to like put in perspective.
Right.
Because you've already dismissed one of them.
It also doesn't really differentiate itself from people who made similar non-joking sentiments trying to make the point that he was kind of not mocking, like making fun of.
Yeah. It was just a bringing to attention thing, but by putting it in a mocking way. He did mock it. The haha makes it seem mocking.
Yeah.
And that's why it didn't work as a joke. Anyways, we talked about it, and it was just like, oh, it was just meant to be a joke. You weren't trying to proselytize, which is why I was upset about it.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was proselytizing, and it
like
wasn't.
a lot of people were.
Yeah, so. Anyways, as always, Kat had the best tweet on the subject, which she tweeted, "Don't throw crabs at people, and also ban sexual assaulters from your community," smiley face in all caps. And it was like, yep.
True.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah. All right. But you think that PP stream didn't, you think we would have been fine even without it?
I think we'd be fine. I think it helped, but I think we'd be fine.
Definitely helped.
It was just a distraction that came sooner. Like,
True.
if it didn't happen, then we would have just been quiet for a little while because not a whole lot's going on till Gamal, and then we would have been fine again because we're all addicted to Melee. So
We're going to talk about that too in this episode. Okay, PP stream. Let's just move on to that. Okay, so seeding wise, I think that's actually a really interesting question.
Yeah, dude.
So first of all, what would you seed PP at? So he said he's coming back to locals first. He's going to be streaming. This is something people asked us to do more, is summarize the events we're talking about.
Yep.
So PP streamed, and he said that he's going to be streaming 4 days a week.
Yeah.
Wednesdays will be his day off. Every weekday other than Wednesday, he'll be streaming. And then he said, don't expect me to commentate. He's not back to full health yet. He still has low testosterone. But he really, really wants to come back. And so he said after streaming, using streaming to get himself back into playing Melee, he's going to start trying to go to locals and use those to get back up to PP level and just try to start competing again. Mm-hmm. So, if not a local, I know he said he'd start at locals, but if you were to put PP at the next tournament,
it's a really hard question.
where would you seed him?
Oh, man. So let's talk about, like, Smash and Splash, hypothetically.
Smash and Splash. Let's assume everyone is there.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way to... You're ranking him in players, right?
Yeah. I want to put him around the 30 range.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
I want to put him... what's Kalindi ranked right now?
25.
Yeah, like 25 to 30. That's my instinct.
Yeah.
Yeah, like right around you and Kalindi. Mm-hmm. Probably
So
30.
weird to say, but like people, you have to understand, like PP is so good still, despite not competing in many years. Mm-hmm. It will take him time to catch up, but like he'll catch up.
Oh yeah.
Like I have no doubt. The biggest spike in improvement that I've had in a long time was last summer through winter, like the second half of last year. And I talked about this a bit on the podcast before, but like after I got into Summit, I was grinding really hard. Like every day I was basically doing first to five, so like Kalindi or another Fox player, because I was working on Spacies heavily in that time.
Right, yeah.
I was alternating doing first to fives with recording all my footage and sending it to PP and discussing it with him. And like the way he thinks about the game is so different from most people. And that was a big reason that I was able to get better in certain ways. Because like sometimes there are fundamental truths of the game in matchups that like no matter how many ways you explain it to someone, like they're just not going to get it. But I don't know. It's a hard topic to kind of get at.
Well, you tweeted, you flexed on everyone when PP came back. It was really funny. You did. It was such a Rishi tweet. You went, I've been seeing this guy say such great stuff on Smashboards for the last few years. I'm happy for him to come back. Which isn't a real flex, but it was like, you showed.
Wait, that's not what I said.
You said something like that, didn't you?
I said he's a big reason I improved last year. Happy to see him come back in any form.
I don't know. Anyway,
you're projecting onto me. Oh man. Oh no.
I'm just saying. You made it clear.
We'll be right back, guys.
You made it. We need to settle some stuff. You made it clear you've had communication with PP, which is an important thing to say. Yeah, and saying that he helped you improve. Yeah, that's how I interpreted it.
Okay, well, I mean, he did, but he's also very active publicly.
Okay, so this is my point in
this
general.
This is like common knowledge.
I was projecting because I was joking a little. It's not common knowledge. It's not. I don't think.
I guess.
It should be, because if you go to tweets and replies on his Twitter account,
he tweets like every day.
It's just him replying to people.
Yeah.
But I don't know that it's actually public knowledge that you can just tweet a question at PP and he will respond it.
I guess so.
Right? I don't think people use him that way.
Well, PSA guys, you can tweet at PP. Chances are he'll respond to you if you have a question about gameplay.
Yeah.
And he has 2 big threads on Smashboards that he replies to every day.
He replies to the Marth one more.
Does he? Let's go.
Yeah. Ask PP questions about the Tiara guy.
Yep.
But yeah.
And
so
if you're ever looking for inspiration, just dig through the old pages of those threads, and you'll just find him put mini essays here and there.
Okay, so from watching him play, did you watch his stream?
I've only got to watch a little bit.
Okay. Did you have any takeaways from it? From his actual gameplay? He was playing against a player called Karn, who is mega old school as well. Karn's been around since 2007 or something, so yeah.
Not a whole lot to say. I mean, he plays in a very distinct way from other players, and that's to be expected from someone who had refined his gameplay so much and who still is pretty plugged into the meta.
Yeah.
So not super surprising, but again, I only saw a very little bit of his actual gameplay.
So the 2 things I took away, a few things. One is that he does edge cancel, which is not, you would assume he was, but it wasn't something that was as commonplace when he stopped playing.
Nope, it was not.
He doesn't do it.
Which was 4 years ago, guys.
Yep.
3 to 4 years ago.
3.
That was what, Battle of the 5 Gods? Yeah.
So 3.5, really.
Yeah.
Because there was still everyone. I feel like everyone thinks of Apex as his last tournament.
That was the Apex.
But he had Evo and Genesis after that too, so people forget about that.
Yeah, and Evo was still very strong.
People really forget about Evo for some reason because he got third.
I can't tell you how many times I've watched his set versus Plup from that Evo.
Yeah.
Every time I watch it, I learn something new.
But okay, so he does edge cancel, not as much as other Marths do, but he's clearly implemented it into his gameplay. He did it a lot with Falcon, actually. He played Falcon a good amount. He doesn't have consistent pivot setups, which is important with Marth.
I wonder what his controller situation is.
Me too. And then the other thing that I noticed is that first of all, his Marth neutral is still unlike any other Marths.
Yep. Just listening to him describe the game, he's just I wave dash forward and I down tilt.
Yeah.
And I wave dash forward and I don't down tilt.
Right.
And they still respect it. Right. I'm just please just record yourself talking about this for hours.
But him and PPU are the 2 masters, not just of dash dancing, but of dashing through your opponent and then fucking dancing on the other side of them.
Yeah.
Just knowing that they're going to respect you dashing through them.
Yeah.
Kevin, we've talked about how that's one of the reasons he's so good in teams is because he always knows when to go for that. But so that's one thing. And then the number one thing is that his Falco neutral is still... He was doing things that in some ways, I don't know if they were optimal.
I haven't seen that in years.
I don't know if they were optimal. There were probably more things he could have done, right?
Yeah.
One of the big things that Ginger and Squid have labbed out over the past year or so is shield pressure that has very different goals from what shield pressure of 3 years ago did.
Yeah.
Ginger and Squid map out shield pressure options that very frequently end with them wave dashing back from the opponent and doing a laser or something afterwards to try and bait something out that they can then react to or start another shield pressure sequence with the shield already lower.
It's like a mango style.
Yeah, so PP didn't do a lot of that, but he did so many like cool tomahawk that were just like...
He locks you down.
Yeah, but without doing anything.
Yeah, exactly.
He just does a short hop and then lands with the drift. And like Karn was throwing out chic F tilts like it just in place so desperate.
Yeah.
I saw him do... There's a confidence to what he does that is really scary because like it's stuff that could get you killed if it doesn't work in a lot of ways. But like he was doing stuff where he would just like... I remember there was one moment where it was on Pokemon Stadium, right? And he's running from the right platform over to the center. And immediately after he comes out, he jumps and he double jumps and he's drifting all the way forward and he shoots double lasers and then he drifts all the way back and ends at the end, like underneath the right platform too.
Yeah.
And it was just shooting out these two lasers that like took up so much space on the platform and got him back to being safe. And I was like, he used his double jump for that, but it was so cool and good.
Yeah.
It was like the most cool non-approaching laser I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, so speaking of him still being good, like I was thinking over the weekend watching Hbox and Mango play Grand Finals, I'm like, this was Grand Finals 9 years ago.
I know, yeah.
Pound Fort in 2010.
Yeah.
Same two people.
Right.
Like, people don't understand how big the gap is between the top six historically and the rest of the players. And like, again, Axe, Zane, Plup, Amsa, like are all getting closer. Obviously, Zane and Plup are much closer than the others, but you know how much time that took for them to get there, and how much?
Plup.
Yeah, I mean, still.
Zane's a freak of nature.
Yeah, but so we talked about this too. Like Zane's been playing for 4 years, but like he hasn't stopped playing for 30 minutes at a time in that 4 years. Like he caught up, you know, in terms of raw hours.
Yeah.
But it's crazy, like.
PP's ideas are there.
Yeah.
I will say that I don't know if he's executing those ideas. If him having ideas that maybe are still not being fully implemented, if his execution of those ideas will work right now.
Yeah.
Because the thing that made me... So first of all, it's like grain of salt. You know, Karn doesn't really enter tournaments anymore, but PP was fucking him up and PP was clearly experimenting. So whatever. It's hard to gauge. But then the real thing that made me be like, PP still has a long way to go, is immediately after he hosted Ginger. And Ginger is the master of like, Ginger's version of doing a short hop that he immediately fast falls and doesn't do anything on is Ginger like goes and shines on a platform and then does a frame perfect wave land off the platform to land where he just was.
Yeah.
And then like wave dashes back.
Sure.
And does all of that in almost the same amount of time that PP's Tomahawk does. Like that's an exaggeration, but you know, the APM there is so much higher. And that's something that we weren't quite seeing from PP, which you wouldn't expect to, but you know.
So I wonder if something like that would lead him to play more Marth, because you don't need it.
I feel like his Falco would be better suited right now.
Okay. I think if he came back right now, I think he would play more Falco. At least that was my instinct last time I put any thought into it. I don't know if anyways.
I think right now, looking at his Marth on stream and his Falco on stream, I think his Falco would fare better.
I think people are better versus Marth than Falco. I just think a lot of Falcos are bad.
I think people are better versus Marth than Falco than they were a year ago, for sure.
Yeah.
I think people are still pretty good against Falco. I think most melee. I think Falcos are pretty, like, people complain about Falco a lot, but people are pretty good at doing things to Falco. I think they're about even now. But before, people were definitely way better against Falco than they were against Marth.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think they've gotten better against Marth.
Didn't he say at some point if he came back, he would do one character first for a while?
I don't know.
But again, his opinion could have changed on that since the last time he gave an update, which was like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, I don't know. It would be really interesting to see. But the main thing for me is just that his Falco punish game would still work. Yeah. Especially because PP was doing things to beat SDI on dares way before most people were SDIing dares.
I think as much as we think the game has changed in the last 4 years, like it also hasn't.
Well, he's a proponent of that.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. But yeah, like he's been, PP used to always just not do a dare. He would do a nair or something, or he's always would dare grab. Like that's a real big PP thing to beat SDI. So the defensive things that have become more commonplace against Falco are things that I think PP is very used to dealing with. Yeah. The defensive things that have become more commonplace against Marth, like slide off DI, like ASDI down to break.
Honestly, I think he'd be fine with either. I think he'll adapt really, really quickly.
Sure, I think he'd be fine with those, but then what about the new layer of punish game that you and Zane and other Marths have implemented that makes it so that you have another thing to contend with? I don't know if he has that layer yet, And he never really had that as a Marth anyways.
That's true. That's what people were saying even at that time.
Right, like he didn't really have that back then either, so that might be a point in his favor.
Yeah.
But like someone playing PP's Marth from 2016 had a lot fewer punish trees to worry about than they do playing Zane now. That's just the fact.
The question I have to ask though is when any opponent today sits down to play PPMD, is he going to be playing their game or are they playing PPMD's game?
That's a really good question.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm just really excited for him to come back and I really want to play him myself just to see.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I don't know, but yeah. I think 25th. I feel like Kalindi is a good benchmark for where I feel like PP would be.
Wow. Kalindi's ranked 1 higher than I am, right?
Yeah, I know.
I've been dealing with this for a year, guys. Can you believe that?
Listen, that's just because I think of PP as a Falco player.
Uh-huh.
That's really, I'm not even kidding.
Okay.
It's because I'm looking for a spacey to approximate him with.
Okay.
And that's why. And I'd put him higher than Ginger, but I wouldn't put him lower than Kalindi. If I were thinking of him as a Marth, I would put him lower than you. I would put him.
Wait, putting him lower than Kalindi and higher than Ginger puts him maximum at where I am. Right?
No, Ginger's not 27th.
No, the highest he would be ranked, if you're looking at the range between Kalindi and Ginger off last year's ranks, is 26, which is me.
Yeah, so then you're 27th.
So you're bumping me out?
Yeah, I'm putting him in between you and Kalindi. As a Falco. As a Marth, I would put him underneath you. I'm not even kidding. When I conceptualize how do I seed him, I'm trying to look for benchmarks, and I think, okay, Spacey, obviously Fox and Falco aren't the same, but I think Spacey, like somewhat similar bracket matchups, and I think Kalindi, that's the Spacey who immediately comes to mind, where it's like, yeah, that feels like a good match. And I think Ginger, I'm like, no, I think PP would be better than Ginger.
Okay.
When I think Marth, I think, okay, so who in that range is close? So you're basically putting him in between Rishi and La Luna. Do I think he's better than La Luna? Yes. Do I think he's the same as Rishi? Like I think his Falco is the same as Kalindi? No, I think he's worse than you probably. So if I'm thinking of him as Marth, then you do not lose a spot, okay?
Very elaborate save there, Zane.
It's not a save. It's how my mind actually conceives of it. Are you saying you don't believe that I am thinking of PP as a Falco player?
I think we're just looking at two very different PPs here. Anyway.
Man. What is the ranking? Anyways, I need to look at SSBM.
I think the me to La Luna range is smaller than the Kalindi Ginger range, isn't it? Is La Luna lower than I thought he was? I thought he was like low 30s.
He is low 30s, and Ginger is like mid to high 30s, isn't he?
Yeah.
Ginger's 30. Ginger's 40. Yeah.
Ginger's 40. La Luna's 32.
Yeah. This is all fucked up though.
Yeah.
Cause like, who would you seed higher, PPMD or WestBallz? I'm not asking you on a statistical sense, you understand. Yeah. I'm not asking you like, I think PP is doing better than WestBallz, or worse than WestBallz.
know.
I'm asking you, do you think it's okay to seed WestBallz higher than PP?
Hasn't WestBallz been doing fine lately? Hasn't he been like winning
It
the
doesn't
SoCal
matter.
tournaments?
He won.
Put some respect on WestBallz
We're
name, man.
We're about to summon fiction to the podcast.
Hasn't
by saying
WestBallz
that.
been winning SoCal tournament? Come on.
He has. I don't care. I'm saying, do you think that it's okay to seed WestBallz? WestBallz, I mean no offense to you by this. Yes, obviously, I would seed you higher than PP. But do you understand the gut?
I know. I get the gut feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
My gut feeling is to put PPMD in the top 15 right now, but you can't justify that with anything.
No, you can't.
Not yet.
Is Nunn done playing Falcon?
I don't know.
What is he? You've seen him in Twitch chat, right?
I just see him in Twitch chat and tweeting a lot. Like he's all on social media, but I don't know anything else.
He's saying he's gonna come back as a Falco main.
Oh, he has been saying that. There's no way he's no.
Yeah.
If he's 19 years old. Actually, I asked him. I was like, "So are you actually 19?" He said, "No, I just turned 21." I said, "Congrats, dude. I'll buy you a drink now that you can drink."
That's really funny.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the SSBM rank looks different every month. So.
God, it's crazy how fucked up it is now, though.
It's
not that long ago.
It's hard though because we really only had 3 tournaments this year.
Yeah, but it like oh my God, it's so different.
Yeah,
so different. Wizzy doesn't play this game anymore.
IBDW has jumped up quite a bit.
IBDW is top 15 easily.
Triff is obviously higher than he is.
Yeah.
Since he's
Lucky is way lower.
Lucky is lower. Lucky's been having a rough year, man.
Llod is way lower.
Yeah.
Hugo is lower.
Absent Page is gone.
Is he though?
I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
Isn't he banned?
Yeah. Kalindi's higher. Probably.
Is he? He's like at the same.
By the virtue of other people dropping.
Well, yeah.
But there's also just relics of like the last year of Melee, because it's always the full year as opposed to recency bias, but like Fiction is obviously like probably top 15-ish now, right?
Top 20.
Top 20, right, yeah top 20. Dewan has no business being anywhere near top 30.
Why is he still on the... That minus 16 looks rough, man.
Oh, God. Yeah. That's so funny. Griffin is 33rd on last year's list.
Yeah, he's still around there.
Shut the fuck up. Rishi knows that the number one way to get me angry is by saying anything about Griffin. Anything bad about Griffin. Griffin should be top 5.
No, he's really great for a Sheik player, man. He should be proud.
Oh, man. Do you know? No, I shouldn't share that. Never mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Chu was 46. He's clearly top 20
well,
again.
he's back to being top 10 again.
Yeah, back to top 10.
Yeah, back to his peak.
Was he really ranked 7 over one of the summer ranks? That's what Chillin said on commentary, and that did not sound right to me. Like he was actually 7 the year that he was beating Muta King and Plup. What is it? 20?
It's SSBM. I think it stopped a really long time ago.
That's not that bad.
Wizzy, Axe, SFAT.
Yeah.
Chudat?
Yeah, he was 7th, dude.
God damn.
Yeah. And he deserved it. That was when he went to Summit.
Yeah, I mean, I remember.
Yeah.
Secondaries puff.
This was before the Ganon or the Fox came out.
Where's the number? Why is the number not here?
It's just cut off. I don't know. He's 7th, though.
8, 9, 10, yeah. The heck?
Yeah.
And then he dropped off pretty quick, right? If I remember, 2017 full year. Anyway,
I don't think we should... I want to propose something, which is that I don't think we should rank Chudat anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, we shouldn't.
That is cruel to the 101st player.
I know. Dude, his set against Zane at Pound was nuts.
I don't think I saw it.
Chu versus Zane. It was game 5. It was crazy.
Was it?
Yeah.
Huh.
Rare for, at this point I would have assumed Zane would just body him. I don't know.
Again, what a foolish statement to make.
Yeah. Never assume anything
you're
about
putting too much
Chudat.
numerical value on Chudat.
Yeah.
Which is a fool's errand. Chudat is someone who sometimes, I think, just treats Melee as a serious thing and sometimes treats it as a hobby. And other times it's not related to that at all. But I do think sometimes
he never treats it as a hobby. It's either a serious thing or it's his what's the word?
Source of income.
Yeah, but there's a word for it.
Side hustle.
No, it's his main hustle. It's his shoot. I need to move on. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's his livelihood.
Oh,
that's the word.
Right.
You start with it.
But it's not a thing that he's trying to be the best at. It's just his livelihood sometimes.
Yeah. Only every once in a while do we see Chudat that really wants to try and be number one.
Yeah.
Rarely, but sometimes.
But I've been thinking about Melee as a hobby a lot.
Me too.
Recently. I just was at therapy before this, guys. Because my therapist is like 4 blocks from Rishi. And then I come here and I get to do therapy with Rishi. And it fucks up everything I've done for the week. But I talked to my therapist about how I don't have any hobbies because I turn everything that I do into my job.
Mm-hmm.
Like
literally.
Like literally.
Yeah,
like
literally.
Visual arts, I got a degree in that.
Yeah.
Film, I got a degree in that. I do it for a living. Writing, I do it for a living. Video games, I do it for it's my job.
Yeah,
like I turn
video games.
Everything I do that I enjoy in life, I turn into work for myself, which is interesting. It's good and bad, but a lot of people have been treating Melee more as a hobby recently, and I think it's a good thing.
It's really hard for me to say that competing is a hobby.
Yeah.
Knowing
competition is different.
Yeah, knowing how much of myself I put into competing.
I wish more people were able to treat competition as a hobby in Melee. And I know why they can't. Like, it's really hard to because you put so much self-worth and time into competing.
Anytime I've entered a tournament where my mindset is not about, like really doing my best, I've come out disappointed regardless.
Yeah, you can't not disappoint yourself.
You can't enter a tournament for fun when it's not like a bar tournament and you're not like going your secondaries or something.
Right.
Like if you're really, you have to commit, and it feels.
But isn't that a horror? But you don't physically have to. It's just a mental thing. Like I'm saying, it's a very real mental thing that dominates us. But it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking about someone like Moki when I'm talking about this, right? Who has had a really tumultuous relationship with the game over the past few months, and it's very all or nothing. And I'm not criticizing Moki at all because I've felt that a ton when I play Melee.
Yeah.
But it's so sad in a way that when our players find a break with the game, it has to be a break in a lot of ways. Like a clean break.
It's hard to hit that middle ground. Like, I don't know. Like, it's hard to not do it all or nothing.
I can think of very few people. Kells. Sorta. Right?
I guess. I mean, I don't know enough about his mentality and his approach to say.
Me neither. I'm honestly just going on like how he attends tournaments. Like in the fashion.
Yeah.
But having Melee... Does anyone have Melee as a hobby who goes to tournaments? Not even consistently.
I think it used to be for me when I would go to tournaments like a few times a year. But where once I got a taste of like what it's like to improve and compete on the main stage, it's like there's no going back.
So I've been hanging out with my collegiate Smash Club a good amount recently. Because I still live really close to there, and we've just been hanging out. And all those people treat Melee as a hobby, and they're all bad at Melee, right? Like, I mean, I'm bad too, and they're worse than me. I love you guys, like, you're fucking awesome, but, like, we're all bad at Melee. But it's interesting how little they can put of themselves into it.
Yeah.
You know who treats Melee like a hobby and is good, actually?
Armada.
Nope.
Now it is?
Nope.
Okay, who are you going to say?
Whiskers. I mean, like, he's not on the same caliber of players that we're talking about, but this is a guy who's, beaten IBDW and Smuckers and stuff. And he treats it like a hobby, and he's still good.
Yeah.
But he would be better if he didn't. I just don't know if he thinks about that.
Right.
That seems so... Can you imagine knowing that if you put more time... You put so much time into Melee, right?
I do know that if I put more time, I'd be better. I'd put as much time as I'm physically capable of doing.
So can you imagine knowing that you had an opportunity to put more time into Melee, you would be better, and being okay with not putting that time into Melee?
That's literally all I've been struggling with the last few months, because all the time that I could be putting into Melee, I've been putting into Ultimate.
Right.
So, I don't know. My thoughts on this
But
subject...
you're struggling with it, right?
Yes, I am.
You can't be okay with that.
Yeah, my thoughts on this are not fully formed yet.
No, I'm neither.
Yeah, so I don't have an answer.
Who...
I don't know. I'm sure some people say they treat it as a hobby. I'm sure there are plenty of people who say they treat it as a hobby, but in the top 100, it's hard. Santi? I don't know. I'm just guessing.
True. That's true. God, what the fuck? We didn't talk about that because that happened recently too.
What tournament was that?
Saving Mr. Lombardi.
Oh, yeah.
Holy
Santi's sick, dude.
shit, dude.
Every time I feel like we're overhyping Santi,
He should have beat Fiction too.
he then starts playing.
He should have beat Fiction.
Yeah, he totally should have.
Oh my god, he would have been in winners finals.
Yeah.
Griffin got second at that tournament while TOing.
Wow. It's really good for a Sheik player.
By the way, I will not stand for Griffin slander. It's even more annoying because I know you love Griffin. Why would you just give in?
Hey,
Give in to your passion.
Yeah. He's one of my favorite Sheik players.
Man. I'm looking for someone who it's a hobby too.
I don't know. Because the thing is, you can be good at the game and also have it be a hobby.
Yeah.
Like, you can be not putting your whole self into it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a really tricky subject.
Hey, is this the most... Oh no, there's no South American players on the top 100 this year, huh? Oh no, Eddie still is.
Yeah.
Is this the most continents that have ever been on the top 100 because of Spud?
Probably.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Japan, Europe, North America.
It used to... The first top 100 was really, really varied because you had people like Straw Hat DeHaan and stuff on
Yeah,
there,
the old
right?
top 100s, though, it's like, hey, you want to be top 100? Enter some tournaments.
Right, yeah. But it's... So this definitely isn't the most diverse because it's still mostly United States players. Oh, God. I just tried to go to the 2013 SSBM rank and it just murdered me.
Yeah.
But I think it might be the most continents that have ever been on SSBM rank. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah, like this old one.
It's harder now than it ever has been to be top 100. And every year I think that gets more true.
True. Yeah, fucking Straw Hat DeHaan down at 78. Maybe it actually is the most diverse. I don't know.
Yeah.
Huh. Makes you think.
Yeah. If you guys saw my Twitter, I'm writing up a blog post on supersmash.blog, my blog with a 0. Not in the URL, but...
Oh, shit.
What?
It's not recording anymore.
When did it stop?
I don't know.
Huh. Did it like run out of battery?
No. I think it stopped a really long time ago.
How long are we talking?
15 minutes?
That's not that bad.
No, not 15 minutes. I'll just use internal capture from the camera for all that.
I guess.
It'll fucking suck, but damn, that's why I should have brought the shotgun. Damn, I just must have bumped the pause button with my thigh.
Dang.
Alright, well.
Hey guys, sorry about the shitty audio. I bumped the pause button on my recorder with my thigh at some point. We'll see how much I lost of it when I go home to edit this.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I think we're dragging on anyways.
Yeah, we definitely are. I was surprised because I looked at it, I was like, wow, we've only been talking for 29 minutes in this part of it.
Yeah.
Felt like a little bit more than that. Oh, that's how I can check. Ooh, I think we lost a lot of audio. I think we lost a lot, so we're probably gonna have to take it from the internal camera, which will suck. Wouldn't be an analog without technical difficulties like that.
Yeah.
So on that note, I think it's time for us to end everything. Thank you guys so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Glad we had like 3 distinct topics to talk about.
Yeah.
And C-Sticks are still happening. We know they haven't been, but they are still happening.
Yep, they are.
Yeah, it's just been a weird month where Rishi gets called to LA on fucking 4 days notice.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah, it's awesome. All right, thanks for listening, guys. Sorry about the audio. We'll see you next time.
See ya.